Have you ever felt as though there's something powerful guiding your life, something unseen, yet profoundly influential? Maybe you've sensed it in moments of intuition, strange coincidences, powerful dreams, or emotions that overwhelm you without clear reason. If you've felt this hidden force, this mysterious current beneath your conscious mind, you're not imagining it. Carl Jung uncovered the existence of this secret energy and spent his life studying its profound impact on human lives. He called it the collective unconscious. But what exactly is the collective unconscious? Imagine the human mind as an ancient ocean, stretching endlessly beneath your everyday awareness. On the surface are the waves, your conscious thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. Just below that lies the personal unconscious, containing your forgotten experiences, suppressed emotions, and hidden fears. But beneath even that, in the deepest waters, exists something much older and more mysterious, a vast shared psychic realm that connects every human who has ever lived. This oceanic depth is the collective unconscious. Jung discovered that beneath our individual differences, our personal histories, and cultural backgrounds lies this hidden dimension, an ancestral psychic inheritance filled with symbols, patterns, and archetypes shared universally across humanity. He didn't arrive at this lightly. Jung meticulously analyzed thousands of dreams, myths, visions, and artwork from vastly different cultures and eras. Remarkably, he noticed the same symbols repeatedly appearing. Symbols of heroes, mothers, tricksters, shadows, wise elders. These symbols weren't learned or culturally transmitted. They arose spontaneously from the psyche of people with no direct contact or shared experiences. How could this happen? Because these symbols are archetypal, universal psychic blueprints embedded in every human psyche, transcending time, geography, and culture. Archetypes aren't just passive symbols. They're active, living psychological forces guiding your emotions, choices, relationships, and dreams without your conscious knowledge. Consider the archetype of the hero. Throughout history, every culture has told the hero's story. Someone called away from the ordinary world, who faces challenges, confronts fear, battles monsters, and returns home transformed. This archetype isn't just fiction. It's a psychological blueprint embedded within you. When you face life-changing decisions, new opportunities, or daunting challenges, this inner hero activates unconsciously, guiding you toward psychological growth and personal transformation. Every time you choose courage over comfort, growth over stagnation, adventure over safety, you're following an ancient archetypal pattern embedded within your psyche. Another powerful archetype is the shadow. Everything within your psyche you suppress or deny. Your fears, shame, hidden anger, unresolved trauma, all dwell within your shadow. Jung realized the shadow is universal. Everyone has one, and it profoundly impacts your life, especially when ignored. If unrecognized, your shadow projects outward onto others. You see flaws, weaknesses, and negative qualities in others that actually belong to you. This projection causes conflict, misunderstanding, and repeated destructive patterns in relationships and life choices. But if you courageously acknowledge and integrate your shadow, you reclaim immense psychological clarity, emotional resilience, and authentic power. Your shadow isn't evil, it's unconscious. Ignoring it gives it power. Confronting and integrating it transforms your life profoundly. Next, consider the archetypes Jung called the anima and animus. These represent feminine anima and masculine animus, energies within everyone, regardless of gender. They influence your emotional balance, relationships, creativity, and intuitive wisdom profoundly. When your anima or animus remains unconscious, you experience imbalance. You might struggle in relationships, feel disconnected emotionally, or lose touch with your intuition and creativity. But when integrated, these archetypes create psychological harmony, balance, and profound emotional depth. Every relationship you enter isn't random. It's influenced by your unconscious anima or animus energies, guiding your psychological growth and emotional maturity. This hidden unconscious force, the collective unconscious, doesn't just exist theoretically. It shapes every aspect of your life, from your smallest decisions to your deepest relationships and most powerful emotions. Have you ever experienced meaningful coincidences? Thinking of someone just before they call, seeing symbolic signs repeatedly, or encountering exactly what you need precisely when you need it. These experiences are called synchronicities, another profound discovery by Jung. Synchronicities aren't random. They're direct manifestations of your collective unconscious bridging inner psychological states with external reality. They happen when your internal emotional or psychological state aligns deeply with external symbolic events. Synchronicities guide you, confirm intuitive insights, and align you powerfully with your deepest psychological truths. Ignoring them keeps you stuck in superficial confusion, but trusting them connects you directly with your unconscious wisdom, providing clarity, purpose, and profound meaning. So why does this matter so profoundly for your life? Because every choice, relationship, challenge, or synchronicity you experience contains deeper archetypal meaning, guiding you towards psychological integration and wholeness, what Jung called individuation. Individuation means integrating your conscious and unconscious minds fully, harmonizing your shadow, anima/animus, hero archetype, and more to become truly yourself. It's not easy, but it's profoundly meaningful. Without conscious awareness, unconscious archetypal energies control you. You repeat destructive patterns. Relationships become superficial or painful. You lose emotional balance, clarity, and purpose. But when you consciously engage these archetypal forces, decoding your dreams, confronting your shadow, trusting your synchronicities, your life transforms profoundly. You reclaim psychological autonomy, clarity, and inner harmony. Your relationships deepen, your creativity awakens, your emotional resilience strengthens profoundly. Your unconscious isn't something to fear, it's something to courageously explore. The collective unconscious is humanity's shared psychic inheritance. It contains profound symbolic wisdom guiding your personal growth, emotional healing, creative authenticity, and spiritual awakening. Your personal individuation contributes directly to humanity's collective evolution. Your growth isn't isolated, it's profoundly interconnected with humanity's shared psychological destiny. When you integrate your shadow, harmonize your anima/animus, embrace your hero journey, and honor your synchronicities, you contribute profoundly to humanity's collective awakening. But first, you must consciously acknowledge and explore this hidden force within yourself. Your unconscious awaits your conscious engagement patiently, guiding you towards psychological wholeness, emotional depth, creative inspiration, and profound spiritual fulfillment. You're not isolated, you're interconnected profoundly. Your personal growth contributes directly to humanity's collective evolution. This realization transforms your perception profoundly. Your life is deeply meaningful, interconnected, and archetypally guided. Your collective unconscious isn't theoretical, it's profoundly practical, guiding your daily life and psychological growth deeply. But to fully unlock its power, you must first understand precisely how these archetypal energies influence your emotions, relationships, creativity, and spiritual growth practically each day. Your unconscious awaits your conscious exploration patiently, guiding you toward profound transformation. Your hidden psychic power awaits your conscious engagement, transforming your entire life profoundly, beginning right now. To fully grasp the power of this hidden force, this collective unconscious, you must first understand precisely how it shapes your emotional life, your relationships, your dreams, and even your destiny. Because Carl Jung's discovery wasn't just fascinating, it was profoundly transformative. He revealed that the collective unconscious isn't merely theoretical, it's active and present, influencing your everyday reality far more than you might realize. Let's start by looking at your emotional life. Have you ever noticed that some emotions seem to come out of nowhere? You feel sudden sadness, overwhelming anxiety, unexpected joy, or deep longing without a clear reason. It's as if something within you, something hidden, is attempting to communicate, reaching out from beneath your conscious awareness. This isn't random or irrational, it's symbolic. Jung showed us that emotions carry archetypal meaning. They're messages from your unconscious, guiding you toward deeper self-awareness, integration, and psychological balance. For example, sudden unexplained sadness might symbolize an unexpressed grief hidden deep within your shadow. Anxiety might represent unresolved fears or unconscious resistance to change, an invitation to explore something deeper within yourself. By consciously engaging these emotions archetypally, by asking, what is this feeling symbolizing? Or what unconscious message is this emotion trying to communicate? You transform emotional experiences profoundly. Your emotions stop overwhelming or controlling you. Instead, they guide you toward deeper self-understanding and integration. You stop avoiding difficult emotions, recognizing them as symbolic guides toward your psychological and emotional maturity. This conscious emotional engagement cultivates profound resilience, emotional intelligence, and inner peace. You no longer fear your emotions. You embrace them as archetypal messages from your collective unconscious, guiding your growth profoundly. Now consider how the collective unconscious influences your relationships. Have you ever noticed repeating patterns in your relationships, attracting similar kinds of partners, conflicts, or emotional dynamics repeatedly, even though you consciously desire something different? This isn't coincidence. Jung explained that your relationships are deeply influenced by unconscious archetypal patterns, especially by the archetypes of the anima, animus, and shadow. For example, repeatedly attracting emotionally unavailable partners might represent an unintegrated anima or animus, symbolizing your unconscious resistance to intimacy, emotional vulnerability, or deeper connection. Conflicts in relationships often represent shadow projections, seeing in others qualities or behaviors you've unconsciously rejected within yourself. By consciously exploring these relationship patterns archetypally, by reflecting on what your partners symbolically represent within your unconscious, you transform relationships profoundly. Your relationships stop feeling chaotic or painful. They become conscious mirrors, revealing hidden aspects of yourself seeking integration. You reclaim emotional balance, deeper intimacy, authenticity, and profound emotional maturity in your relationships. You stop blaming others for conflicts. You recognize them as symbolic guidance from your collective unconscious, urging deeper psychological integration. Now let's explore your dreams, the direct communication channel from your collective unconscious. Carl Jung discovered dreams aren't meaningless neurological activity. They're symbolic messages from your collective unconscious, guiding your psychological growth profoundly. Have you ever experienced recurring dreams, being chased, falling, flying, or encountering strange symbolic images repeatedly? These dreams aren't random, they carry profound symbolic meaning. Dreams of falling might symbolize losing control or confronting unconscious fears. Dreams of flying could represent a desire for freedom, creativity, or transcending limitations. Dreams of shadowy figures often symbolize unintegrated shadow aspects. When you consciously reflect on these dream symbols, by journaling your dreams and exploring their archetypal meanings, you unlock immense psychological insight, emotional clarity, and inner guidance. Your dreams stop feeling random or confusing. They become profound symbolic messages guiding your life choices, relationships, and psychological growth daily. Finally, consider how the collective unconscious directly influences your sense of destiny, your deepest purpose and life path. Jung revealed that beneath your conscious desires and goals exists a deeper unconscious guidance system, archetypal patterns guiding your life profoundly. This guidance system communicates directly through dreams, emotions, synchronicities, intuitive insights, and even symbolic events occurring in your external reality. When you consciously pay attention to these symbolic messages, when you trust synchronicities, decode dreams, explore emotional patterns archetypally, you align profoundly with your deepest purpose. You stop feeling purposeless or disconnected. Your life gains profound meaning, clarity, and authentic alignment with your true self. Every challenge, choice, relationship, and event becomes deeply symbolic, guiding you toward your ultimate individuation, integrating your conscious and unconscious minds fully to become truly yourself. But practically, how can you consciously engage your collective unconscious daily? Jung provided practical techniques to decode your unconscious wisdom clearly. 1. Dream analysis. Record dreams daily. Reflect on symbolic images, recurring patterns, and emotional themes. Dreams provide direct symbolic guidance from your unconscious, profoundly guiding your daily choices, relationships, and emotional resilience. 2. Active imagination. Regularly engage your unconscious directly through meditation, visualization, or creative reflection. Dialogue symbolically with your shadow, anima, animus, or hero archetypes, allowing profound unconscious insights, creativity, and guidance to emerge clearly. 3. Synchronicity reflection. Pay attention daily to meaningful coincidences and symbolic events. Trust these synchronicities as direct, unconscious messages, profoundly aligning your decisions, relationships, and emotional clarity daily. 4. Shadow integration. Notice emotional triggers daily, strong irrational reactions or patterns. Consciously reflect archetypally on these triggers, identifying unresolved shadow issues seeking integration. This transforms daily emotional experiences profoundly into deep psychological clarity, resilience, and inner harmony. 5. Archetypal reflection. Regularly reflect consciously on archetypal patterns influencing your life. Hero journeys, shadow projections, anima/animus dynamics. Which archetypes currently guide your decisions, relationships, or emotional experiences? Conscious reflection profoundly aligns your daily choices with your collective unconscious guidance. Practicing these techniques consistently transforms your daily life profoundly. Your daily choices gain profound clarity and symbolic meaning. Your relationships deepen, becoming conscious mirrors guiding psychological integration. Your emotions become archetypal messages, cultivating profound emotional intelligence and resilience. Your dreams become direct symbolic guides, unlocking immense psychological insight and clarity daily. Your collective unconscious isn't theoretical, it's profoundly practical, actively shaping your daily reality. Your conscious engagement transforms your entire life profoundly. Your emotional resilience, relationships, creativity, spiritual development, and ultimate inner fulfillment. Your hidden psychic power awaits your conscious engagement, transforming your life daily into profound psychological clarity, emotional harmony, and spiritual fulfillment. Your unconscious isn't something to fear. It's your most profound inner guide, patiently waiting to transform your life profoundly. But first, you must courageously engage it consciously daily. Your hidden psychic power awaits your conscious exploration, guiding your psychological and spiritual growth profoundly every single day. As you journey deeper into your collective unconscious, something remarkable happens. You begin to see life from an entirely new perspective. You realize you're not merely shaped by external forces, random chance, or personal history. Instead, you're guided profoundly by hidden psychic forces, invisible yet powerfully real, actively influencing your daily life. Carl Jung uncovered not just a theoretical framework, he revealed a practical, deeply transformative path towards self-discovery, emotional clarity, creative authenticity, and profound spiritual fulfillment. But to truly unlock the power of your collective unconscious, you must explore its profound impact on your creativity, your emotional resilience, your spiritual growth, and your ultimate inner peace. Let's begin with creativity. Have you ever wondered why some of your most inspired ideas seem to come from nowhere? Suddenly, solutions appear clearly, inspiration strikes, or creativity flows effortlessly. These moments aren't random. They're profound communications from your collective unconscious. Jung believed creativity originates from deep unconscious sources, universal archetypal symbols, themes, and patterns shared by humanity throughout history. Artists, musicians, writers, inventors, all tap into this collective psychic reservoir, translating unconscious archetypal wisdom into creative expression. You've experienced this yourself, in sudden intuitive insights, inspired visions, or creative ideas emerging seemingly from nowhere. These aren't merely random thoughts, they're symbolic messages from your collective unconscious, urging deeper self-expression, authenticity, and creativity. But practically, how do you consciously engage your creative unconscious? Jung introduced a powerful technique called active imagination, which allows you to engage your unconscious directly. By entering a meditative or imaginative state, you invite unconscious archetypes, your shadow, anima, animus, hero, to communicate symbolically through visions, insights, or intuitive ideas. Active imagination unlocks profound creativity directly from your collective unconscious, providing inspired visions, clear insights, and profound authenticity in your creative expression. Your creativity stops feeling blocked or forced. It flows effortlessly, authentically, and profoundly meaningful, aligned deeply with humanity's collective wisdom encoded within your unconscious. Next, let's explore emotional resilience. Life inevitably brings challenges, disappointments, conflicts, and emotional upheaval. But have you ever wondered why some people remain calm, resilient, and centered during these moments, while others crumble emotionally. According to Jung, emotional resilience arises when you consciously engage your unconscious archetypes, especially your shadow. Every emotional challenge contains symbolic messages from your unconscious, guiding deeper self-understanding, emotional maturity, and inner strength. When you consciously reflect on difficult emotions archetypally, by asking, what unconscious message is this emotion communicating? Or what unresolved shadow issue is triggering this emotional response? You gain profound emotional clarity and resilience. You stop feeling emotionally overwhelmed or victimized. You reclaim emotional sovereignty and psychological balance. Your emotions become symbolic guides, empowering profound psychological growth and emotional maturity. This emotional resilience isn't about avoiding difficult emotions. It's about consciously engaging them, integrating their archetypal messages, and transforming them profoundly into clarity, strength, and emotional harmony. Your collective unconscious actively supports profound emotional resilience if you consciously engage it symbolically each day. Now let's consider spiritual growth. Spirituality for Jung wasn't about religion or dogma. It was a direct, profound connection with deeper psychological truths and universal symbolic wisdom embedded within your collective unconscious. Have you ever experienced profound moments of awe, interconnectedness, or spiritual clarity? Moments that transcended ordinary reality, revealing deeper spiritual truths? These experiences, what Jung called numinous experiences, aren't random or mystical. They're symbolic communications from your collective unconscious, guiding profound spiritual awakening and psychological integration. When you consciously engage your unconscious, through dreams, active imagination, synchronicity, reflection, you cultivate profound spiritual awareness, alignment, and wisdom. Your spirituality becomes profoundly practical, guiding your daily choices, emotional experiences, relationships, and life purpose deeply each day. Finally, let's explore the ultimate gift of consciously engaging your collective unconscious: profound inner peace. Inner peace isn't mere absence of conflict, it's psychological and spiritual harmony, arising when your conscious and unconscious minds integrate fully. When you consciously integrate your shadow, balance your anima/animus, honor your archetypal hero journey, and decode symbolic guidance within dreams, emotions, and synchronicities, you experience profound inner alignment and harmony. This psychological integration profoundly calms emotional chaos, eliminates internal conflicts, and clarifies your deepest purpose. You experience profound inner peace, even amidst external challenges or uncertainties. Inner peace isn't passive, it's profoundly active, cultivated consciously each day through practical engagement with your collective unconscious. Practically, how can you consciously cultivate this inner peace daily? Consider these practical methods Jung offered clearly. 1. Daily reflection and journaling. Reflect daily on your emotional experiences, dreams, synchronicities, and archetypal insights. Regular journaling integrates unconscious wisdom profoundly, cultivating deep psychological clarity, emotional resilience, and inner peace each day. 2. Symbolic meditation and visualization. Regularly enter meditative states, visualizing archetypal figures, your shadow, anima, animus, hero, inviting direct symbolic communication from your unconscious. This practice profoundly integrates unconscious energies, restoring deep psychological harmony and emotional resilience. 3. Archetypal dream work. Record and reflect symbolically on dreams daily, consciously decoding archetypal messages guiding your psychological integration, emotional maturity, and spiritual growth. Dreams become profound symbolic guides cultivating deep inner peace and psychological alignment. 4. Synchronicity tracking. Pay attention daily to meaningful coincidences and symbolic events guiding deeper psychological clarity, spiritual alignment, and emotional harmony. Reflect consciously on these synchronicities, profoundly aligning your daily choices and emotional experiences. These practical methods aren't mere psychological exercises, they're profound spiritual practices, actively aligning you daily with humanity's deepest collective wisdom encoded within your unconscious. Practice consistently, they transform your life profoundly, cultivating deep psychological clarity, emotional resilience, creative authenticity, spiritual alignment, and profound inner peace daily. Your collective unconscious isn't theoretical. It's profoundly practical, actively guiding your daily reality toward your deepest psychological and spiritual fulfillment. You stop feeling isolated, confused, or purposeless. You experience profound interconnectedness, clarity, and meaning each day. Your individuation journey profoundly contributes to humanity's collective awakening. Your inner work isn't selfish, it's sacred, actively guiding humanity's shared psychological and spiritual evolution. You aren't isolated, you're interconnected profoundly. Your collective unconscious patiently awaits your conscious exploration, guiding your daily emotional experiences, relationships, creativity, spiritual growth, and ultimate inner peace profoundly. But first, you must courageously engage it consciously daily. Your hidden psychic power awaits your conscious exploration, transforming your life profoundly into psychological clarity, emotional harmony, creative authenticity, spiritual alignment, and profound inner peace each day. The hidden force within you isn't theoretical, it's profoundly practical, actively transforming your entire reality daily. The final and perhaps most transformative gift of Jung's theory of the collective unconscious lies in its capacity to reconnect us with a sense of wholeness, a feeling that so many of us unknowingly seek in our endless scrolling, perfectionism, or people-pleasing. In a fragmented modern world, the collective unconscious becomes not just a source of ancient wisdom, but a bridge back to your true self. Let's make this clear. Jung believed the ultimate goal of life wasn't to become good, successful, or even happy in the conventional sense. The goal was to become whole. That means accepting the light and the dark, the known and the unknown, the parts of you that fit into society's expectations and the parts that defy them entirely. This wholeness isn't found through blind positivity or spiritual bypassing. It's earned through the slow, often painful work of exploring what lives beneath your surface, through decoding your dreams, examining your triggers, and facing the aspects of yourself you were taught to reject. The collective unconscious is the well from which wholeness rises, because in it, every human archetype lives, not just the ones you like. Let's talk about these archetypes more deeply. So far, we've touched on the hero, the shadow, the anima and animus. But the collective unconscious is also home to the caregiver, the magician, the outlaw, the sage, the innocent, the lover, and the explorer, just to name a few. These aren't just characters, they're forces. Each archetype represents a mode of being, a lens through which you view the world and respond to it. And when one archetype dominates your psyche, the others are forced into the shadows. For example, someone who overly identifies with the caregiver archetype may be admired for their selflessness, but secretly burned out, resentful, and disconnected from their own needs. Meanwhile, the outlaw within them, the archetype that says, "What about me?" is pushed into the unconscious. It doesn't disappear. It just operates from the shadows, leaking out in passive-aggressive comments, sabotaged relationships, or impulsive decisions that seem to come out of nowhere. This is what Jung warned us about, the danger of one-sidedness. When you cling too tightly to one part of your identity, the parts you exile gain power in the unconscious. And eventually, they will make themselves known through dreams, synchronicities, symptoms, or crisis. So what's the antidote? Integration, the practice of recognizing, honoring, and reclaiming the lost parts of yourself, no matter how uncomfortable or unfamiliar they may feel. And the collective unconscious isn't just where these parts hide, it's where they wait. Patiently, quietly, until you're ready. Ready to stop performing, ready to stop chasing approval, ready to stop pretending you're only one thing. The real magic happens when you start living symbolically, when you understand that your life isn't just a series of random events, but a story, and that story is filled with archetypes, patterns, and hidden meanings. Suddenly, that argument you had last week isn't just a fight, it's your inner warrior archetype clashing with someone else's tyrant. That feeling of restlessness you can't shake. It's the explorer inside you, begging to be unleashed. That strange dream that woke you up in a sweat. It's your unconscious trying to send a message, maybe from the shadow, maybe from the lover, maybe from something you can't name yet. Living symbolically means paying attention. It means asking deeper questions like, what archetype is trying to express itself through me right now? What am I resisting? What part of me is being triggered and why? This isn't self-obsession. It's self-honoring. And it's how you move from a fragmented life to a mythic one. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." When you understand the collective unconscious, you stop being a puppet to fate. You become a participant. You begin to dance with the unconscious, not as its slave, but as its conscious counterpart. That's the sacred tension Jung always spoke of, the dance between the ego and the self. The ego wants comfort, control, and clarity, but the self wants truth, transformation, and wholeness. The self doesn't care if you're liked. It cares if you're authentic. And here's the truth that many spiritual circles overlook. The path to enlightenment doesn't go around the unconscious. It goes through it. That shortcuts. No bypasses. No affirmations strong enough to suppress what's rising from the deep. So what do? You listen. You sit with your discomfort instead of escaping it. You track your dreams. You write down your triggers. You study your projections, what you love or hate in others, and ask, what part of me am I seeing? You turn your gaze inward again and again until what was once hidden begins to reveal itself, not as an enemy, but as a guide. That's the essence of working with the collective unconscious. You stop fighting yourself. You realize that every shadow, every fear, every unexplainable longing is a messenger. You stop asking, what's wrong with me? And start asking, what is this trying to show me? And that shift, that single shift, changes everything. You become less reactive, more intuitive, more grounded, less dependent on external validation, more attuned to the subtle wisdom that lives beneath your thoughts. You begin to embody something ancient, something timeless. Not in the way you dress or speak, but in the way you carry yourself. There's a stillness in your presence, a depth in your gaze, a quiet confidence that doesn't need to prove anything because it knows. It knows that the deepest truths can't be shouted. They're remembered. And you are a vessel for that remembrance. So let the collective unconscious speak, through your dreams, through your pain, through the symbols that follow you, the archetypes that call to you, the synchronicities that shake you awake. Let it guide you, not back to who you were told to be, but forward to who you truly are. Because buried in the collective unconscious is not just ancient memory. It is your future self, waiting for you to wake up.